Hello there! Today I'm digging into the superpowers of the Darach and how the Nemeton and Telluric currents did their part to turn her into a total badass. Jennifer Blake, or Julia Bakari, or whatever name you remember, was dubbed the Darach, or Dark Druid, in the first half of Season 3. Now, I did a thing a couple of weeks ago about good druids and how their knowledge allowed them to do some pretty amazing things. If you missed that video, I've linked it above. You really should watch it before you watch this one, because there are topics I just kind of touch on here that were actually explained fully in that earlier video. If you enjoy these weekly trips back to Beacon Hills, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload new content. A quick refresher, druids are full of ancient knowledge that allows them to take various flora and fauna present in the natural world and focus the energy of the earth into types of power they can use. Good druids, like Dr. Deaton and his sister, only use plants, trees, and crystals, the bits that don't really harm other creatures, because they're good druids and try to do no harm.
I didn't poison him with lichen, but I did give him a powerful paralytic, same one I put on that jar.
Well, they do no harm unless they're trying to save someone else from harm. You get it. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the bad druids, the Darach, which we're told means dark oak. This is the type Jennifer became after Kali almost killed her. The dark druids can do a lot more stuff with the natural energies because they're willing to kill people and animals in order to focus that power directly into themselves. Now, in reality, the stories of druid human sacrifices were overblown or just made up by historians over the years. Most of the legitimate folks who study this stuff suggest they were no more into human sacrifice than anyone else at the time. But for the purpose of Teen Wolf, the writers divided druids into those who do and those who don't kill people for power, and they gave us a wonderful example of how that works with Jennifer Blake. Let's start at the beginning. Actually, that's not the beginning. The beginning of Jennifer's story starts here with the Beacon Hills Nemeton. The big tree sits in an intersection of telluric currents which carry natural power all around the planet. Telluric currents are legitimate. They pulse with electricity in real life. You can Google Earth battery for details on how telluric currents actually work. Now, the energy is more nuanced in Teen Wolf, more nuanced and much more powerful than mere electricity, but the concept is the same as in the real world. Anyway, the tree, back when it was whole, soaked up and focused that telluric power. It flowed out from the tree and generated good vibes for the whole surrounding area and drew in the types of people and creatures that could sense it to Beacon Hills. Then some bitch come along and cut it down.
There's a belief that cutting or harming the tree in any way would cause serious problems for the surrounding villages.
What sort of problems?
Fires, plagues, strife, death and destruction of all kinds.
Disasters strike Beacon Hills, and the Hales helped protect and rebuild as best they could after it happened.
This family used their wealth to rebuild the community around them while remaining isolated from it.
Into this post-Nemeton apocalypse, we have young Darach Hale and his recently bitten girlfriend. Paige is suffering and Darach kills her to save her from the pain. He unwittingly does this at the base of a super powerful telluric battery, which absorbed Paige's very powerful life force and stored it. During this same period, Kali and her pack are in town for a meeting. Now, presumably, Julia was your run-of-the-mill druid emissary, playing diplomat, advisor, doctor, and all-around helpful herbalist to the pack. Then Kali joined Deucalion's Church of the Overblown Ego and fucked Julia over and left her for dead. Luckily for her, Julia was close enough to the Nemeton to sense its power and crawl to it. There was enough of Paige's life force stored in the tree stump to keep Julia alive long enough for help to get to her.
She's still breathing.
In the hospital, Julia got the benefit of even more sacrifices to help her heal further.
While the patient was in the OR struggling to hold on, hundreds of birds were flying into the walls, windows, like they were committing some kind of mass suicide.
Well, like they were sacrificing themselves.
For what?
Not what. Who?
Now, it's not actually clear to me if Julia called to the birds, but their deaths against the side of the hospital would have added more life force to what was already working inside Julia. And so she recovered and spent like 10 years plotting her revenge against the Alpha Pack. Her plan was pretty simple, really. Follow Deucalion, perform a bunch of human sacrifices and gain specific skills and abilities, then wait for the lunar eclipse that would allow her to kill an entire pack of very powerful alpha werewolves when they're at their weakest.
They're gonna figure this out, and they're gonna find you!
She did each sacrifice on top of a telluric current.
Okay, now the weird thing about Beacon Hills is that it actually is a beacon. You wouldn't believe how much energy throwing through this earth is around this town.
Styles, look, they match.
The life force flowed from the sacrifice into the current and then connected to her. She kind of explained on the show what she got from each specific group she'd killed.
Maybe I should have started with philosophers, with knowledge and strategy. Healers, warriors, guardians, virgins.
That last bit might seem a little hazy. She killed the virgin so she could look beautiful, which I guess made it easier to hide, but did that really help when it came to taking down the Alpha Pack? Probably not. But it did allow her to get busy with Darach. And that's worth a few innocent lives, am I right?
All right, there's 3 places, right? Where they're kidnapped, and then the place where their body was found.
But it's right until our current.
So maybe where he was sacrificed is somewhere in between.
Okay, so Jennifer was juiced on telluric energy and the life force of a dozen or so people, which allowed her to do this. And this. And ultimately, this. And in the immortal words of every camp villain ever, she would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
Jennifer! What?
Thanks for watching. Like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe. I'll see you next time we go back to Beacon Hill.